Hello, good evening, and happy Sunday to everyone. I'm still Lisa's opinion, and I basically share my opinion on trending topics. Yeah, that's what I'm known for. So, trending topics, social life, relationship, and what have you. So, if you feel like you have maybe a worry, concern, or like just random things you feel like okay you want to get a third opinion or so, you could always hop in my life, get comfortable in the comment section, and then you ask your question, or better still, you hi Emily, hi, I see you, how is it going? Hope you're great. Oh, thank you. I did a new hair today. Do you like? Very simple and nice. Thank you for the likes. Thank you so much for the likes. How is Bulgaria today? Is it treating you well? Hope no one is disturbing you, because I can fight for you. I can die for your matter. Okay. So like I said, if you feel like Emily, let me ask you a quick question, right? Do you have any, maybe let's say worry, or maybe a sub maybe a topic we can talk about, like do you have something you just want to get an honest opinion about? Hi, welcome to my life. Please join my life, like and subscribe. Hi Mora, is it Mora? Talia, nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. Feel free, get a VIP seat right in front. You are just about right in time. We're about to kick start the train. Let's keep it rolling and moving. Okay, that's nice. So, if you look at the title of this life, it has to do with women and childbirth. And this is one topic I really want to, share my honest opinion about it. Putting sentiments aside, putting age, putting time, like factors, because I just feel like those are things a lot of people usually use as reasons to go ahead and have kids when they know they are not ready otherwise. So, in as much as childbirth is one very, in as much as childbearing is very crucial for everyone, like there's no one who doesn't want to have a child at some point, but also timing is a very great factor. A lot of times women just feel, oh, I've met a man, or I've had maybe sex, and they feel it's right to just go ahead and get pregnant. For me, I would say the whole thought of even conceiving comes with a whole lot. Yeah, the momentum is building up, Emily. Yeah, because this topic is really an interesting one, and I want especially ladies to be on this live reason with me. No, I don't have kids yet. So, like I was saying, sorry I wouldn't be maybe replying more of the live. Maybe you can just share your own comments. I won't be maybe replying because it's going to be distracting me, and we don't want that for this live, because I want to touch this topic in a very insightful manner, because it has to do with us women, and we can pick one or two things from this. In as much as we are very excited, especially when we get to a certain age as a woman to give birth, but we still have to put certain precautions in place so that we don't, the whole idea of giving birth doesn't in turn make us sad, or make us go through a really Hi, Chris. Thank you so much. I appreciate. You know, childbearing is something that has to be like a blessing. It has to come like a blessing. But imagine a situation where you have to give birth, and then because of the hardship you're going through and everything, you tend to start regretting and things like that. So I feel like we women, we have a lot to do when it comes to try childbearing, because in as much as a man puts that sperm into you as a woman, it's still your sole decision to decide if you want to keep that sperm to, germinate into a child or not. Do you get? So I feel like we have to really take conscious decisions when it comes to childbearing. You get? And for the most part, I'm saying this once to the ladies, for the most part, is not enough reason because you laid with a man, or a man is in a relationship with you, then you think you can go ahead and feel like, okay, it's okay to have kids, because you like. And I feel like a lot of times we women are being unfair to men with this particular aspect, because you can be in a very good relationship with a man, he likes you, no doubt, he's in love with you, he showers you with love, gifts and all the like, and then in your mind you're like, if this man is doing this for me, then just imagine when I finally give birth to a child for him. That's a very wrong way mindset. That's a very poor way to think. I feel like things like childbirth is something that you always have to dialogue with the other person at every given point. Like, I feel like it's very important. Thank you so much, Talia. I feel like it's something you always have to, talk to the other person, get them on board. I used to say something that the fact that a woman takes up to 9 months before she can conceive a child, that's to tell you that's to tell you that's to tell you God himself understood the fact that women need a lot of time to process the whole childbearing thing, so it doesn't come like it doesn't put you off guard. That's why you have the first trimester, the second trimester, the third trimester, and what have you. So imagine a situation where you just get pregnant out of the blue, and then you're expecting a man's full, support or whatever, and then the man is somehow reluctant. For the most part, I cannot blame a man in such a situation, because even God, who made pregnancy for 9 months, understood that you as a woman, you needed time to prepare, to adjust, to accept the new reality. So why do you think is the man you take by surprise? That's why you see that during first trimester, maybe you have hormonal changes, but your tummy isn't that big. Second trimester, you have, like, even God sees the need to you to be prepared, both mentally, psychologically, physically and otherwise. Do you understand? So that's why I don't think it's fair enough to the men when you just go ahead and feel like, okay, I'm in this relationship, I'm dating this man, and I can just get pregnant, and then from nowhere I tell him, hey, I'm getting pregnant, you have to start getting ready. That's why you see a lot of men abandon women when they tell them they are pregnant. You see a man who loves you so well, the man actually loves you, and then suddenly you tell them you're pregnant, it puts them off guard. A lot of time they shy away or they run away, not because they don't like you, but maybe because the thing came as a shock to them. Do you understand? So I just want us to be a little bit considerate with men, in as much as it's their responsibility to take care of you while you're pregnant, to be responsible for that child, but it's also very crucial that you carry them along at a very early age. If you feel like as a woman you want to have kids, you going ahead to, just maybe after a good time with a man, you just go ahead and get pregnant without the man's concern. I don't think that's being fair. I feel like that's you tricking the man into what he did not prepare for. Do you understand? Don't take it in a bad light. But if we have to be fair even to our men, pregnancy comes to, especially when you really want to give that child a good life, then you have to carry the man along. There need to be some sort of proper planning. Do you get? so that we can evit cases whereby, if I don't know if some of you watched Very Young Man's video he did with one lady of recent. Very Young Man did one video of recent with one lady like this. I think that was yesterday. The lady left all the way, is it from Kaduna or where, I don't know. She came around to Very Young Man's office and was insinuating that her 10-year-old child was Very Young Man's own. Can you imagine? Let's assume Very Young Man was a very poor man, or let's assume Very Young Man wasn't good to do, he wasn't well to do. Do you think that girl would come that length to look for him? Like, to me, I felt like that was some kind of hallucination. And a woman who is doing fine for herself will not come up with such claims. When you look at the story, you just feel like this is someone who maybe first she's hungry, she's seeking for attention and stuff like that. Thank you for the likes. Keep liking the video, and please, if you love my content, please do well to subscribe, so each time when I go live, you'll be one of the first people who get notified. So like I was saying, imagine a situation you see, and then a woman comes from nowhere that she's pregnant, or she has given birth to a child. That child is 10 years old. From that video, that child is 10 years old. And after a series of interrogation, because Very Young Man brought in his lawyer, Barrister Marshall, he was there to interview the woman. And after a long session with her, they now discovered she was just, creating stories from the blue. When people are famous, when people are well-to-do, a lot of people want to affiliate with them. So it's just like now I can just decide, let me look at this popular person. Let's say Davido, for example. Davido might be popular, he might be rich, and I feel like, okay, I can have a child for Davido. I mean, the child will never suffer and stuff like that. That's a very poor way to think as a woman or as a person. It's a very poor way to think. And that's why you see a lot of women, look at even this case of Cubana chief priest in Nigeria. Look at this guy in Helen in is it Kenya? Yeah. Look at the scenario. I don't want to think or believe maybe she intentionally took in for that child because she knew of the guy's personality. But let's just assume she gave birth to a child and that man wasn't well to do. Would she have come every day online to be crying hoofs and because she felt, because she came to realize that the guy was rich, the guy was famous, the guy was influential. That's why she now opened a Facebook page to be dragging him. Assuming she had slept with a local or common person, like just a regular guy who is struggling, do you think she'll be coming online every day to be crying and telling Nigerians to beg or to get the guy to come and do DNA or take care of a child? So I feel like we women, our actions most times are very calculative. Like we calculate our actions, because you will never hear a man or a woman come out to be calling a broke man to come out and take his responsibilities. A lot of times when you see situations where women come out to drag or call out the men who abandon them with children, then you have to understand that man is influential, that man is well to do, and they want to have a piece of the cake, which is not bad. But you don't have to first in the first place find yourself in that situation. That's why I'm talking about concern. It's true we still have men who, despite them giving their go ahead, or sometimes you even see a man, he wants that child even more than you. He's the one who sits you down and tell you, hey, I want you to get pregnant for me, let's have a child. And then suddenly you get pregnant, he shies away, he runs away from his responsibilities. So as a woman, and in this generation we find ourselves today, if I have to advise maybe a woman like myself, I would say it's very important. You as a woman, you go ahead to do your due diligence. Once you do your due diligence, making sure you are okay mentally to go through that process of pregnancy. You have had a lot of women who have lost their self, who have lost their mind because they just hopped into pregnancy without knowing what they were expecting, not knowing what was ahead of them. Do you understand? So imagine you prepare yourself psychologically to be like, okay, I'm getting pregnant. Oh, I want to get pregnant maybe in September. That's you having like 4 months to process it. Okay, there will come a time where I'll be having hormonal changes, I'll be vomiting, my body will be changing, I'll be getting, bigger and stuff like that. It puts you in a better place. That's why you see a lot of women these days when they are moving about and people are calling them ekete, or like say they have eaten and gotten food, trying to, some of them don't find it like they don't find it too nice. Some of them want to, like they're just timid, they're just, but if it's something you prepare your mind for it, it's easy to embrace it, right? Have you thought of it that way? So in as much as we desperately want to give birth to children, we should also put certain things into consideration. Please, it's very important, young girls, so we don't find ourselves being victims of circumstance. I think for the most part we also have to think about the child we are trying to bring into the world. Think about them, and how it, like, do you want to really bring in a child into the world where you as a parent, you cannot really give them the best of you? Because the best of you is not just about the good things you can give a child, but let's say if psychologically, mentally, you're not okay, like maybe the whole pregnancy thing took a turn on you, and you are not able to be the best version of yourself to be able to give that child the best. You have had situations of women, you have had situations where women after giving birth they tend to desert their child, like they tend to, hate on the child for no reason, not like they are doing it intentionally, but because they are overwhelmed. It comes with a whole lot, like it's a whole new phase of your life that you begin to experience. So that's why I'm saying that it's very important that you you are prepared. You as a woman, you could be prepared physically, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, morally, and even financially. Financially is very important, because imagine you're pregnant today and even a man is not there to give you the emotional and financial support, and then how do you want to go about, your antenatals and all those things? How do you want to go about that? you know how do you want to go about that? How do you want to go about when you finally give birth? How do you want to go about um taking care of the child all by yourself? So this is something you have to weigh 50-50. So these are things people, like, no one should literally pressure you into doing if you feel like you're not ready for this phase of your life. It's not something someone is supposed to pressure you into doing. You're not doing anyone a favor by getting pregnant, especially you as a woman, because you see that situation where you and a man, you get, like, you have fun together, you make love together. That sole decision of deciding whether you want to make that sperm into a child, it depends on you, the woman. So you see that in that situation, even God himself, oh, you can't see me? Is there a problem with the life? Please say something in the comment, please. So like I said, even God himself, who made you the woman, you should have been able to put one and two together. You should have been able to weigh options. You should have been able to ask the person you're trying to do this, hey, have a and then they plan it together. Likewise, a woman might want a child, and then, but you see the mistake you should never make as a woman. You should never go ahead to feel like you can get pregnant before tagging man. You should never go ahead to feel like you can get pregnant before tagging a man along. That's not what you should do, and take up his responsibilities after you have maybe taken a decision without consulting him. And that's why I said we women, for the most part, we are being unfair. So if you are a woman who goes ahead to, because you feel like, oh, you're making love with a man, it's enough reason to just get pregnant. You see, even married men or married people these days, they do family planning. They decide when they want to have a kid. Then what more of you who is a single girl? One more of you who is a single girl who hasn't, do you understand? Because when you're dating someone, even if you have dated them for 5 years, 10 years, so long as you guys are not married under the under tradition, or maybe court, or maybe white wedding, I mean, you guys are not married, so there are things you don't have that leverage of just doing it. And for the most part, let me shock you, do you know it's even married people that even do the highest family planning than even some of us young, like single people? Do you know that? Like, if you see the way married people, because it comes with a whole lot. Imagine you have one child, and then you are not even done taking care of that child, the next one comes without you being prepared. So for every woman who really cares about the well-being of their child, the child they want to give birth to, you take into consideration, except otherwise it's medically related, maybe. Because I've heard of situations where the doctor advised women to get pregnant because of maybe health complications, like they have to get pregnant to avoid certain things, or to, except it's that kind of situation, then it's understandable. But don't just wake up from nowhere and feel like, oh, I want to get pregnant now, and whoever is available, whoever deposits into me, I'm going to keep that child, provided you are secured financially, mentally, physically, morally. Like, literally, you have maybe people who are willing to support you. Because sometimes you also have women who just want to get pregnant, and they have a whole village of people, community of people who are willing to support them to whatever extent. You have situations like that. If you feel like you fall under that category, go ahead and have your child. No one is stopping you. But I'm just saying, for the most part, because when you walk around and see how, child labor, the rate of child labor, the rate of children who are suffering on the streets and things like that, it's alarming. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, like, totally. I'm not saying it's totally bad, but we can curb some of these things. We can make conscious efforts and decisions that will not let our children find themselves in circumstances they did not beg to be in. We have rare cases of where a man and a woman, they give birth to a child, and maybe they die in some accident, or something happens, a tragedy happens. Yeah, that kind of case, and then the child starts suffering. That kind of case is understandable. But the kind of case I'm emphasizing here are those typical cases where you see a woman, she knows she doesn't have anything, just her body, but she goes ahead, not only gives into a man, but she also conveniently gets pregnant, and then start looking for who to help her take care of that child. That's you being unfair to yourself. That's you being selfish to an extent of not putting that child into consideration. The child you want to bring into this. It's true, God said, going to the world and multiply, blah, 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 blah. But that does not give you leverage to just feel like, okay, you can go ahead and take up decisions, or you take actions that will bring burdens to other people. Just imagine if everyone had to go ahead and give birth, like, especially, and sometimes you can even give birth to one child, it's okay. But the cases where I'm laying so much emphasis on are people who just feel like it's okay to go. You are there, you don't have anything doing, you don't have money, you are not doing well, and then all you can do is go ahead every 2 market day you're getting pregnant. Like, when you're taking that decision, who are you consulting? And then you see, most of the times it's people like that. When they ask and then you give them one time, the next time you don't give them, you become a bad person. It's almost like when they were going to do their action, they consulted you, they seeked for your opinion. Please like the video, please. You guys should like the video. And also, you can subscribe if you like the kind of content I put out. I'm Lisa's opinion, by the way, and I like to share my views on, you know, social topics, trending topics. So, I mean, you can always join the chat. You can always, contribute in your own little way. That will help me grow. You can always contribute by commenting, by liking my videos, by subscribing to my channel if you like the kind of content I put out here. These are all educative content, but we are not doing it like a formal class. Do you get, like you are sitting in a classroom? It's just like infusing jokes, entertainment, and why we are getting knowledge out of it. So my ladies, please do well. To always consider a man's opinion when you think of getting pregnant. Okay, it's very important to both you and the man. That way, imagine a situation where you plan. It's true that times you plan and things don't go as planned. We have rare cases like that, but it shouldn't always be the case where you didn't plan at all. Because when you just get up and then you get pregnant, then that's when you want to start planning. You might even fail at it before you even start. Hi, those of you who just joined, welcome. Please subscribe to my channel and like my video. So imagine a situation where you want to get pregnant and then you plan ahead of time. Maybe you, especially the financial part. Maybe let's say you start saving up. Let's say we are in April. Let's say you plan to give birth in, let's say you plan to get pregnant next year April. You have like 1 year span to raise funds, to prepare yourself, prepare your body. Those are typically the things I'm trying to talk about. Do you get? You prepare yourself, your mind, everything, and you find out that when the time comes for you to get pregnant finally, it comes with a lot of ease. There is no pressure, there is no tension. Have you ever thought of a situation where you're with your partner in the house, and because there is no money, let's say you have to go to antenatal, you have to go for antenatal and there is no money? Do you know how agitated you can become? Do you know how aggressive you can become? But imagine a situation where you are properly planned and that money has been kept somewhere for that purpose. You just wake up in the morning, get your shower, go for your antenatal because there is money. Do you get? So please, it's very important. As much as you're thinking of getting pregnant, set aside money also that you can use. It's very important, my ladies. Let's stop taking actions that we cannot be accountable for. Let's stop taking actions that will make men maybe stop loving us, because we have a lot of men who have stopped loving women, or who have stopped being there for a woman just because they got pregnant. And me personally, I cannot blame such a man, because it's unfair of you as a woman to go ahead and, because you're in a relationship, you feel like you can go ahead and get pregnant without a man's concern, yet you want his full support. Always carry that man along. Don't just sit there and feel like, oh, my body wants to carry pregnancy now. Oh, always follow up your cycle. Try to know when you're safe, when you're unsafe. So, because I know there are also cases where you try your best not to get pregnant, but it happens. Those cases we can also give, like we can also like overlook. We can also give the benefit of doubt, but not that you consciously take a decision or do an act alone. You take a decision to get pregnant all by yourself, and then suddenly the child comes, you're expecting the man's full responsibility, the man's full support. I'm not going to support you women on that. I'm a woman too, and I'll never do that to a man. I feel like when it's about time to have kids, if sometimes you might be ready and your partner is not ready, it's your responsibility to sit your partner down and be like, baby, this is what I want. I don't know about you. Are you ready for this? If they're not ready and you feel like you cannot wait on their time, you can move on from that person and look for who is ready just like you. And that's why in relationships it's very important understanding. Please like the video if you like what I'm I mean, if you resonate with the things I'm saying, endeavor to like the video. You know, you get, it's very important to choose the kind of partner that aligns with your objectives. If you feel like in the next 2 years you want to get pregnant, you want to have a child, and you're meeting someone, then those are the things you should be talking about. You should be asking them things like that to see their openness to that. Don't go and be in a haste just to hop on the bed and make love to each other and things like that. No. When you're meeting someone, especially when you have long-term plans for them, or you have long-term, like you're looking at dating them for a long time, always ask those relevant questions. What are your thoughts about childbearing? Do you want to have kids? Are you open to having kids? Blah 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 blah. Do you understand? Those are questions, in-depth questions you should be asking your partner when you're going for those dates. You shouldn't just be, of course you can hop into have love making, I mean, it's up to you, but don't go ahead and feel like it's okay for you to get pregnant when you barely know that man, or when you have barely had that conversation with that man to understand if he also wants that. Because me, I'm a woman, I will not give grace. You as another woman, I will not give you grace if I feel like you went ahead to get pregnant without informing that man, or without carrying that man along, yet you want his full support, or yet you're complaining, oh, he's not taking care of you, he's not being supportive towards the child. It takes only few men, like I earlier mentioned, it takes only few men who have the sense of responsibility to go ahead and still take care of their child, even when they in fact know you didn't carry them along from day one. Do you understand? It takes only men who are really good, who are like it takes only men who are responsible, that will look beyond the fact that, oh, she didn't even inform me, I wasn't even aware, I wasn't even put up to speed and things like that. For the good of your child, the child you want to bring into this world, and whether we like it or not, a dual parenting situation will always be better than single parenting, except otherwise those two are maybe toxic or something, except, yes, but because you have things which are typical of a man, that he will better, he will better maybe teach a child as opposed to a woman. And you have things that a child will learn from a mom's perspective. Children first, they are those kind of beings, they observe more. Like a child can literally see you making, and then you also make. So that's to tell you, children, you have things that, imagine you have a boy child and he wants to learn how to pee, and maybe because he's seen his dad pee, like maybe standing up trying to remove their trousers and pee, as opposed to you, a woman who bends down to pee most times. You see that in that kind of situation, that child will easily learn from the dad. So in as much as single moms are strong, but if you have the opportunity of controlling that situation, like try not to be a single mother by all costs, do it. Because I personally, I believe if you carry a man along, I don't think he will let you down. Most of the times these men are scared of responsibilities. That's why when it just comes like that out of the blue, they are scared, and for the most part they run away. But imagine a situation where you guys talk about it, you plan about it ahead of time. You see that it gives the man grace, it gives even you, the woman, grace, because you'll be planning towards that. Maybe you have to start saving, maybe you have to start reading books about pregnancy, like you start getting your mind set ready for that. Okay, when a child comes, things will not be the same again. Like you literally prepare yourself to get to that point. I've been talking for over 35 minutes now, and I don't really want to, since I'm just starting off with these live videos, I don't really want to make very lengthy videos. Yeah, because I don't want them, like my audience, to get bored at some point. So at this juncture, I feel like we should end the live this minute, and let's see again maybe tomorrow. I don't know, but let's see again tomorrow and talk on other very important topics. Thank you all for those of you who joined the live. Thank you. I hope there was one or two things you could learn from all what I said, and I really wish you could keep coming back for more. And the only way you can do that is by subscribing. So please do well to subscribe, and from time to time you can also share your thoughts, or you can also bring up topics you have worries about and you want us to talk about them, so you yourself you can learn from that topic. Thank you so much. I remain your one only Lisa's opinion. Thank you. Bye for now.